At the airport, my daughter said, "You're flying economy, and we're flying business class. I don't want you sitting with us." I nodded. She didn't know that I paid for the tickets. During the flight, I called the bank. "Good day, dear listeners. It's Clara again. I'm glad you're here with me. Please like this video and listen to my story till the end and let me know which city you're listening from. That way I can see how far my story has traveled. I used to believe that family was everything. For 68 years, I had built my life around that single truth. My late husband Robert and I had worked ourselves to the bone, he as an engineer, I as a school teacher, saving every penny, investing wisely, building something substantial to pass down to our only daughter Jennifer. When Robert died 3 years ago, leaving me alone in our paid-off house in Seattle with a comfortable retirement fund, I thought Jennifer would be my anchor. How wrong I was. The signs started small. At first, it was just the occasional request. "Mom, could you help with the down payment on our new SUV? The dealership needs it by Friday." Then it was the private school tuition for my grandchildren, Emma and Lucas. "It's the best school in Connecticut, Mom. Don't you want the best for your grandkids?" Of course I did. What grandmother wouldn't? So I transferred the money, $15,000 here, $25,000 there. Jennifer always promised to pay me back when Bradley's bonus comes through. Bradley, her husband, worked in finance. Surely they could afford these things themselves. But the bonus never seemed to materialize. And the requests kept coming. Still, I told myself I was being useful, needed. When Jennifer invited me to spend Christmas with them in Hartford, I was overjoyed. I hadn't seen my grandchildren in months. I immediately booked my flight, economy class, as always. I'd never been one for frivolous spending. That's when Jennifer called back. "Actually, Mom, we're all flying out to Aspen for the holidays. Bradley booked us a chalet. You should come. I'll text you the flight details." The flight details arrived. December 23rd, Seattle to Aspen. When I looked up the ticket price, my hands trembled. $1,847 for economy. But this was Christmas with my family. I clicked purchase without hesitation. 2 weeks later, I stood in SeaTac Airport, pulling my modest carry-on toward the gate, searching the crowd for Jennifer's perfectly highlighted hair. I spotted her near the premium check-in counter, designer luggage at her feet, Bradley scrolling through his phone beside her. Emma and Lucas were engrossed in their tablets. "Jennifer!" I called out, waving. She turned, her smile tightening when she saw me. She whispered something to Bradley, then walked over. "Mom, you're here." "Of course I'm here. I'm so excited for—" "Listen," she interrupted, her voice dropping low. "There's been a situation with the seating. Bradley's company only comped 3 business class tickets. We tried to get you upgraded, but—" She shrugged, as if the universe itself had conspired against me. My stomach dropped. "Oh, that's okay, honey. I'm fine in economy. I just want to spend Christmas with you all." Jennifer glanced back at Bradley, who was now watching us with an expression I couldn't quite read. She stepped closer, her voice even quieter. "The thing is, Mom, you're flying economy and we're in business class. I don't want you sitting with us. It would be awkward. You understand, right?" The terminal noise seemed to fade. Did I understand? I stared at my daughter, my only child. The baby I'd nursed through colic and chickenpox. The girl I'd helped through her college heartbreaks. The woman whose wedding I'd partially funded. And I didn't recognize her. "You don't want me sitting with you," I repeated slowly. "It's not personal, Mom. It's just, the business class cabin is small, and we want to relax as a family. You get it." I nodded. What else could I do? Make a scene in the middle of the airport? She patted my shoulder, actually patted it like I was a child, and walked back to her family. I stood there, frozen, watching her lean down to kiss Lucas's head, watching her laugh at something Bradley said. What she didn't know, what none of them knew, was that I had paid for all 4 of their tickets. Business class, round trip. $18,947 charged to my credit card just 5 days ago, right after Jennifer called saying, "Mom, Bradley's company thing fell through. Could you help us out? We'll pay you back in January, I promise." As I walked toward my gate, the economy gate far from theirs, I felt something cold and hard settle in my chest. Not quite anger yet, something more like clarity. Once we were in the air, I did something I'd never done before. From seat 32B, squeezed between a coughing businessman and a teenager with headphones, I pulled out my phone and called my bank. "First National Bank, this is Derek speaking. How may I help you today?" I pressed the phone closer to my ear, trying to hear over the engine noise. "Yes, hello. This is Margaret Thornton. I need to review my account transactions for the past 18 months. "Certainly, Mrs. Thornton. For security purposes, can you verify your date of birth and the last 4 digits of your social security number?" My hands shook as I provided the information. What was I doing? This was my daughter, my family. But that cold clarity from the terminal hadn't left me. If anything, it had crystallized into something sharper. "Thank you, ma'am. I'm pulling up your accounts now. What specifically are you looking for?" "All transfers over $5,000. Can you email me a detailed statement?" "Of course. Give me just a moment." While Derek typed, I stared at the seat back in front of me. When had it started? Really started? Not the requests for money. Those had always existed. Small loans here and there. But when had I become someone my own daughter was ashamed to sit next to? "Mrs. Thornton, I'm showing quite a few large transfers. The statement will be comprehensive. Is your email still margaret.thornton.1956@gmail.com? Yes, that's correct. Sent. Is there anything else I can help you with today?" I hesitated. Then, yes. I need information about establishing a revocable living trust. There was a pause. "I can transfer you to our estate planning department, but they're closed until Monday. Would you like me to schedule a callback?" Please. That night, in the cramped bedroom of the Aspen Chalet, the smallest room naturally, while Jennifer and Bradley took the master suite, I opened my laptop. The bank statement loaded slowly on the spotty Wi-Fi. My breath caught. $187,450. In 18 months, I had transferred $187,450 to Jennifer's account. I scrolled through the list, each transaction bringing back a memory. $22,000. "Mom, we need a new roof. The inspector says it's urgent." $15,000. "Emma needs braces. The orthodontist wants payment up front. $8,500. Lucas made the travel soccer team. Equipment and fees are due. $35,000. We're finally redoing the kitchen. You'll love it when you visit. And the recent one, $18,947 for these very plane tickets. I opened a new browser tab and checked Jennifer's Facebook page, the one she rarely posted on, but occasionally let slip through her privacy settings. There was a photo from 2 weeks ago. Jennifer and Bradley at some charity gala, her in a dress I recognized from a Neiman Marcus catalog. $3,400. I'd seen it when we went shopping together last spring. Another photo, the family in front of a new Mercedes SUV. "Finally upgraded," the caption read. 12 people had commented congratulations. I kept scrolling. The kitchen remodel she'd needed my $35,000 for. It looked like something from Architectural Digest. Wolf range, marble countertops, custom cabinetry. They weren't struggling. They were thriving, on my money. I closed the laptop and sat in the darkness, listening to the muffled sounds of my family laughing downstairs. They were playing some board game. No one had knocked on my door to invite me. The fear came then, not of losing my money, that was already gone, but of what came next. If I confronted Jennifer, would I lose her entirely? Would I ever see my grandchildren again? Emma was only 10, Lucas 8. They barely knew me as it was. But then I thought of that moment in the airport. I don't want you sitting with us. Something hardened in my chest. I opened my laptop again and started a new document. Financial transfers, Jennifer Bradley Morrison. I began listing every transaction, every promise to pay you back soon, every emergency that turned out to be a luxury. By 2 a.m., I had a complete record. I also had the beginning of a plan. First thing Monday morning, I would call the estate attorney my bank recommended. I would establish a trust, one that Jennifer couldn't touch. Then I would secure what remained of my assets, the house, the investments, my retirement accounts. Everything would be locked down. But that wasn't enough. It wasn't about the money anymore. It was about respect. It was about teaching my daughter, and yes, my grandchildren, that you don't treat people like ATMs, especially not your own mother. I would need documentation, evidence, not just for myself, but potentially for, what? Legal action? The thought made me nauseous, but I pushed through it. I pulled up my email and started a new folder. Jennifer, records. Every email where she'd asked for money, every text message, every voicemail, I would save it all. As dawn broke over the Aspen Mountains, I heard footsteps in the hallway. A soft knock. Grandma? It was Lucas's voice. Are you awake? Mom says breakfast is ready. I took a breath and opened the door, smiling at my grandson. I'll be right down, sweetie. He grinned and ran off. I could do this. I would do this. But first, I had to get through Christmas. The Monday after Christmas, I sat in the offices of Patterson and Associates, estate planning attorneys, facing a woman named Claire Patterson, who couldn't have been much older than Jennifer. But unlike my daughter, Claire looked at me with genuine attention. Mrs. Thornton, you mentioned on the phone that you want to restructure your estate plan. Can you walk me through your current situation? I slid the folder across her desk. 37 pages of bank statements, highlighted transfers, and a timeline I'd constructed during the sleepless nights in Aspen. I need to protect my assets from my daughter. Claire's eyebrows rose slightly, but her expression remained professional. She opened the folder and began reading. I watched her face as she processed the numbers, the patterns, the sheer volume of money that had flowed from my accounts to Jennifer's. After 5 minutes, she looked up. Mrs. Thornton, I need to ask you something directly. Did your daughter coerce these transfers? Were you threatened or manipulated? No, I said quietly. She asked, I gave, every single time. And she promised repayment? Every single time, I repeated. I have the emails, the text messages. I'll pay you back next month, Mom, I promise. Claire nodded slowly. How much of this has been repaid? $0, 0 cents. She closed the folder. All right, here's what we're going to do. First, we establish a revocable living trust. All your assets, your home, your investment accounts, your savings, transfer into the trust. You maintain complete control as trustee, but the assets are protected. Second, we draft a new will. I'm assuming your current will names Jennifer as primary beneficiary. I nodded. We'll restructure that. Set up educational trusts for your grandchildren that mature when they turn 25. Name a charity or charities for the remainder. Jennifer gets nothing she can access immediately. The words should have hurt. Instead, they felt like relief. How long will this take? The trust can be established within 2 weeks. The will revision immediately after. But Mrs. Thornton, Claire leaned forward. Once you do this, your daughter will likely find out. If she's monitoring your accounts, if she's named on anything, there will be notifications. Are you prepared for that confrontation? I thought of the airport, of Christmas morning, when Jennifer had handed me a $15 scented candle from TJ Maxx while showing off the Cartier bracelet Bradley had given her, of Boxing Day, when she'd casually mentioned needing just a small loan of $8,000 for property taxes. I'm prepared, I said. The paperwork was filed on January 4th. By January 6th, my phone rang. "Mom, what the hell is going on?" Jennifer's voice was shrill, accusatory. I was in my kitchen making tea, and I carefully set down the kettle before answering. "Hello, Jennifer. How are you?" "How am I? I'm confused, Mom. I tried to access the joint savings account, you know, the one you set up so I could help you manage things. And it's gone. Closed. The bank says all your accounts have been restructured. What's happening? Are you sick? Is this dementia?" There it was. The gaslighting had begun right on schedule. "I'm perfectly healthy, Jennifer. I've simply reorganized my finances." "Without telling me?" "Mom, I'm your daughter. I'm supposed to help you with these things. You're 68 years old. You shouldn't be making major financial decisions without family input." "Family input," I repeated softly. "Is that what you call it?" "What's that supposed to mean?" I took a breath. "Jennifer, in the past 18 months, I've transferred over $187,000 to you. You've repaid exactly zero. You promised every time that you'd pay me back. Were those lies?" Silence. Then, "Mom, that wasn't loans. That was family helping family. You know we've been struggling. Bradley's job is unstable, the economy is terrible, and the kids' expenses. Bradley just got a $45,000 bonus. I saw it on his LinkedIn. Congratulations to him." Another silence, longer this time. "You're spying on us now? Jesus, Mom. This is crazy." "I'm protecting myself. There's a difference. Protecting yourself from what? From your own family. We love you. Everything we've asked for has been for legitimate reasons. If you're going to be paranoid and selfish—" "Selfish," I interrupted. The word triggered something. "I paid $18,947 for your family's business class tickets to Aspen. You told me not to sit with you because it would be awkward. Does that sound like love to you, Jennifer?" The silence stretched so long I thought she'd hung up. When she finally spoke, her voice had changed. Cold. Calculated. "I think you need to see a doctor, Mom. This paranoid thinking, these accusations, it's not normal. Maybe early-stage Alzheimer's. We should get you evaluated." My hand tightened on the phone. "I'm not sick. Bradley and I are concerned. We're going to come visit next weekend. We need to talk about this, as a family." "I don't think that's a good idea right now." "Mom," her voice shifted again, softer now, pleading. "Don't do this. Don't push us away. We're all you have. Don't you want to see your grandchildren?" There it was. The threat, wrapped in velvet. "I need to go, Jennifer." I hung up before she could respond. My hands were shaking, but not from fear. From rage, from vindication. She'd shown her cards. The dementia accusation, the emotional manipulation, the threat of withholding my grandchildren. Claire had been right. The war had begun. Claire called me the next morning. "Mrs. Thornton, I need you to document everything from yesterday's call. Write down what was said, the time, the threats made. If this escalates, we want a paper trail." "Escalates to what?" "Your daughter mentioned having you declared incompetent. It's a common tactic in these situations. If she can get a court to agree you're mentally unfit, she could petition for conservatorship, essentially legal control of your finances." My blood ran cold. She can do that? She can try. That's why we're documenting everything. Keep your wits about you, Mrs. Thornton. Stay sharp. And if she shows up with a doctor or anyone claiming to evaluate you, do not let them in your house without your own attorney present. I spent the next 3 days in a state of hypervigilance, jumping at every car that drove past, every knock at the door. But Jennifer didn't come. Instead, she sent Emma. On Saturday afternoon, my doorbell rang. Through the peephole, I saw my granddaughter standing on the porch, alone, looking small and cold in her winter coat. I opened the door immediately. "Emma? Sweetie, what are you doing here?" She looked up at me with those big brown eyes. Robert's eyes. "Grandma, can I come in? I'm cold." I pulled her inside, looking past her for Jennifer's car, but the street was empty. "How did you get here? Where's your mother?" "She's at the coffee shop down the street. She said I should come talk to you alone." "Grandma, are you mad at us?" My heart cracked. I led her to the couch, wrapped a blanket around her shoulders. "No, sweetheart, I'm not mad at you." "But you're mad at Mom. She's been crying. She says you don't love us anymore because you took away all your money." I closed my eyes. Of course. Send the child to deliver the guilt. "Emma, your mom and I are having a disagreement. An adult disagreement. It has nothing to do with you or Lucas. I love you both very much." "Then why won't you help us anymore? Mom says we might lose our house. She says we can't afford things because you're being mean." "Emma?" "She says you're sick, that you're forgetting things and getting confused. Are you sick, Grandma?" I took both her hands in mine. "Listen to me very carefully. I am not sick. I am not confused. Your mother and I have some things to work out, but none of it is your fault, and none of it means I love you less. Do you understand?" She nodded, but her eyes were uncertain. The door burst open. Jennifer stood there, her face a mask of fury. "Get away from my daughter!" "Jennifer, I said get away from her." She grabbed Emma's arm, pulling her off the couch. "What did she tell you, baby? What did Grandma say?" Emma started crying. "Nothing, Mom. I just—" "Don't lie to protect her. Did she say bad things about me?" "Jennifer, stop it. You're scaring her." Jennifer whirled on me. "I'm scaring her? You're the one tearing this family apart. You're the one choosing money over your own grandchildren." "I'm choosing to protect myself from being exploited." "Exploited?" She laughed, sharp and bitter. "You think helping your family is exploitation? We trusted you, Mom. We thought you loved us enough to—" "To what? Fund your lifestyle while you treat me like an embarrassment? While you exile me to economy class and tell me not to sit with you?" Bradley appeared in the doorway then, his expression cold and calculating. "Mrs. Thornton, I think we all need to calm down. Emma, go wait in the car." Emma fled, still crying. Bradley stepped inside, uninvited. "Here's the situation. Jennifer tells me you've made some concerning financial decisions lately. Paranoid decisions. We're worried about you." "Get out of my house. We've consulted with an attorney," he continued as if I hadn't spoken. "We can petition the court for an emergency psychiatric evaluation. Given your erratic behavior, the sudden account closures, the accusations against your own daughter, a judge would likely approve it." My breath caught. "That's not legal. You can't force—" "We can if we believe you're a danger to yourself. And this obsession with money, these delusions that Jennifer is somehow using you, that's dangerous, Mrs. Thornton. We're prepared to do whatever it takes to protect you from yourself." "And to protect yourselves from losing your cash cow," I said quietly. Jennifer flinched. Bradley's jaw tightened. "You have until Monday," he said. "Reverse these account changes, apologize to Jennifer, and we'll forget this happened. Or we file the petition Tuesday morning. Your choice." They left, slamming the door behind them. I stood in my living room shaking. Then I called Claire. "They're threatening a psychiatric hold," I told her. "Can you get to my office right now?" 30 minutes later, I was signing papers. An advanced directive. A medical power of attorney naming Claire's partner, an elder law specialist. A formal declaration of competency, co-signed by my physician, Dr. Sarah Chen, who'd treated me for 20 years. "They file that petition. We have countermeasures," Claire explained. "But Mrs. Thornton, you need to disappear for a few days. Stay with a friend. Get out of their immediate reach." I thought of my college roommate, Patricia, who lived in Portland. We'd stayed close over the decades. I can do that. I drove to Patricia's that night. For 3 days, I turned off my phone, sat by her fireplace, and let myself breathe. When I finally turned my phone back on, there were 47 missed calls from Jennifer. The voicemails started desperate and ended furious. "Mom, please call me back. We need to talk. I'm sorry about Bradley. He was just worried. We're all worried, please. Then, Mom, this is ridiculous. You can't just disappear. I'm your daughter. Call me. Then, fine. If you want to play games, we can play games. But you're going to regret this. And finally, we've hired an attorney. We're moving forward with the competency evaluation. You've left us no choice. I sat in Patricia's guest room, listening to my daughter's voice spiral from manipulation to rage, and I felt nothing. Or rather, I felt a cold, crystalline clarity. Patricia knocked softly and entered with 2 cups of tea. You okay? I don't know what I am, I admitted. She settled into the chair across from me. Patricia had been a family law attorney before retiring, sharp and pragmatic. We'd met at University of Washington in 1975, bonded over late-night study sessions and a shared intolerance for bullshit. Talk to me, she said, lawyer to friend. I told her everything. The years of transfers, the broken promises, the airport humiliation, the threats. When I finished, Patricia was quiet for a long moment. Maggie, she finally said, using my college nickname, they're going to lose. How can you be sure? Because they're acting out of desperation, not strategy. The competency petition? It'll never hold. You have medical documentation. You've been proactive with legal planning. You're clearly of sound mind. Any judge will see through it. But what if? No what ifs. Listen to me. She leaned forward, her expression fierce. I've seen hundreds of these cases. Adult children who view their parents as retirement accounts. You know what they all have in common? They count on their parents being too ashamed, too guilty, too afraid of losing family connections to fight back. They weaponize love. The words hit like a physical blow because they were true. You're doing the right thing, Patricia continued. You're setting boundaries. You're protecting yourself. And yes, it hurts. But Jennifer made her choices. She chose to exploit you. She chose to humiliate you. She chose to threaten you. Those are her choices, not yours. My phone buzzed, a text from Jennifer. Mom, please, can we just talk? I miss you. The kids miss you. We can work this out. I showed Patricia. Classic cycle, she said. Rage, then love bombing. Next will come the guilt trip, then back to rage. Don't respond. But Emma is being used as a pawn. The kindest thing you can do for those children is show them that actions have consequences, that you can't treat people like ATMs and expect unconditional love in return. Over the next 2 days, Jennifer's texts continued. Each one a carefully calibrated attempt at manipulation. Bradley apologizes for what he said. He was just stressed about work. Emma made you a card at school. She misses her grandma. I know I've made mistakes, but we're family. Doesn't that mean anything to you? You're really going to throw away your relationship with your grandchildren over money? That last one almost broke me. But then I remembered Claire's words. Document everything. I forwarded each message to my attorney. On day 4, the tone shifted again. Fine. If this is how you want it, we won't bother you anymore. I hope you enjoy your money more than you would have enjoyed your family. Then, an hour later, our attorney says the court date is set for February 15th. See you there. I called Claire immediately. They filed? I asked. They did. Petition for emergency psychiatric evaluation and temporary conservatorship. It's garbage, Mrs. Thornton. Completely without merit. But we need to be prepared. What do I need to do? Come back to Seattle. We'll schedule a comprehensive evaluation with a neuropsychologist of our choosing. Dr. Marcus Webb, he's the best in the state. We'll have documentation showing full cognitive capacity. We'll prepare our counterfiling. And, Mrs. Thornton? Yes? They just made this a matter of public record, which means we can now subpoena their financial records. We can show the court exactly what they've been doing. Something sparked in my chest, not quite hope, something sharper. Do it. I returned to Seattle the next day. Patricia came with me, insisting on staying, as long as you need me. The neuropsych evaluation took 4 hours. Dr. Webb tested my memory, cognitive function, decision-making capacity, and emotional stability. At the end, he smiled. Mrs. Thornton, you're sharper than most 40-year-olds I evaluate. I'll have the formal report ready in 3 days, but I can tell you now, there's absolutely no indication of impairment. Your daughter's petition is frivolous. That evening, Patricia made dinner while I sat at my kitchen table with Claire's paralegal, signing authorization forms for financial subpoenas. We're requesting 3 years of bank records for Jennifer and Bradley Morrison, the paralegal explained. Credit card statements, loan applications, tax returns, the works. Will they know? Oh, they'll know. They'll get the notice within 48 hours. I signed. That night, for the first time in weeks, I slept soundly. Patricia was in the guest room. Claire had a solid legal strategy, and I had proof of my competency. I wasn't alone anymore, and I wasn't backing down. They arrived on a Sunday morning, 3 weeks before the court date. I was in my garden, pruning the rose bushes Robert had planted years ago, when I heard the car pull up. Patricia was inside making breakfast. I'd seen her glance out the window, then quickly come to the back door. Maggie, Jennifer's here with the whole family. I stood up, brushing dirt from my knees. Through the fence I could see them. Jennifer, Bradley, Emma, and Lucas, all dressed as if for church. Emma was holding a bouquet of flowers. Should I send them away? Patricia asked. I considered. Then, no. Let's see what they want. I walked around to the front of the house, gardening gloves still on. Jennifer's smile was bright and brittle. Mom, you're home. We've been so worried. She nudged Emma forward. Emma has something for you. My granddaughter approached hesitantly, holding out the flowers. We miss you, Grandma. I took the flowers, kissed Emma's forehead. Thank you, sweetheart. These are beautiful. Jennifer beamed. See? We can fix this. Can we come inside? Talk like a family? Every instinct screamed caution, but I also knew Patricia was inside, a witness to whatever came next. All right. They filed into my living room. Bradley took the armchair, Robert's chair, without asking. Jennifer perched on the sofa, pulling the kids close to her like shields. I remained standing, Patricia beside me. Who's this? Jennifer asked, her smile not reaching her eyes. Patricia Coleman, an old friend. She's staying with me for a while. How nice, Jennifer said icily. So, Mom, we wanted to clear the air before this court thing goes any further. It's all just a big misunderstanding, right? Is it? Of course. We're not actually trying to have you declared incompetent. That was just Bradley's attorney being overzealous. We told him to drop it. Bradley leaned forward. Mrs. Thornton, we came here in good faith. We want to resolve this as a family. No lawyers, no courts, just us. What exactly are you proposing? I asked. Jennifer's voice took on a rehearsed quality. Well, first, we'd like you to drop the financial restructuring. Put things back the way they were. Then we all agree to forget this ugliness and move forward. The kids miss their grandma. I miss my mom. Don't you miss us? And the money I've already given you? She waved a hand dismissively. Water under the bridge. Family doesn't keep score like that. So you're not planning to repay any of the $187,000? Bradley's expression hardened. That was family assistance, not loans. You gave freely. If you're now trying to claim it was loans, that's a conversation we can have with our attorney. Your attorney who's pushing for conservatorship? Patricia interjected quietly. Jennifer shot her a venomous look. This is a family matter. Who are you exactly? A concerned friend and a retired family law attorney. The temperature in the room dropped 10 degrees. Jennifer turned back to me, her voice rising. Mom, are you seriously letting some stranger poison you against your own family? Patricia is hardly a stranger. We've been friends for 50 years. And we're your blood, your daughter, your grandchildren. Jennifer's mask was slipping now. After everything we've done for you. What exactly have you done for me, Jennifer? She blinked, momentarily thrown. What? I'm asking genuinely. What have you done for me? In the past 5 years, what have you contributed to my life besides requests for money? That's not fair. We invite you to holidays, where I pay for the plane tickets and am told not to sit with you. Bradley stood abruptly. All right, enough. Here's the reality, Mrs. Thornton. You have a choice. Drop this nonsense, restore access to your accounts, and we can be a family again. Or continue down this path, and you'll never see Emma and Lucas again. Your choice. The threat hung in the air. Emma started crying. Daddy, don't! Lucas, Emma, go wait in the car, Bradley commanded. Jennifer hesitated, then shepherded the children out. When the door closed behind them, Bradley's polite facade evaporated entirely. You're making a massive mistake, he said coldly. We've documented your erratic behavior, the paranoia, the sudden distrust of family. Any judge will see you're not fit to manage your own affairs. Your documentation won't stand up in court, Patricia said calmly. We have actual medical evaluations. What do you have? Hearsay and financial motivation? Bradley's jaw clenched. Jennifer came back inside, her eyes red. Mom, please, she whispered. Please don't do this. I'm begging you. Think of the kids. Think of our family. Is money really worth destroying everything? I looked at my daughter. Really looked at her. When had she become this person? Or had she always been this way, and I'd simply been too loving, too giving to see it? You're the one who chose money over family, I said quietly. You chose it every time you lied about paying me back. Every time you saw me as a resource instead of a person. Every time you took and never once asked how I was doing. That's not true. When's my birthday, Jennifer? She froze. When is it? I pressed. You called me 3 times on my birthday last year. All 3 calls were asking for money. Not one of them mentioned it was my birthday. Tears streamed down her face now, but I couldn't tell if they were genuine or performed. Get out, I said. Get out of my house. Bradley grabbed Jennifer's arm. You'll regret this. I don't think I will. They left. Through the window, I watched Bradley roughly buckle the kids into their car seats, Jennifer sobbing in the passenger seat. When they drove away, my legs nearly gave out. Patricia caught me, guided me to the sofa. I just cut off my grandchildren, I whispered. No, Patricia said firmly. They did. They weaponized those children against you, and you refused to be manipulated. There's a difference. But fear coursed through me anyway. What if I never saw Emma and Lucas again? What if Jennifer turned them against me completely? Then I remembered Bradley's face when Patricia revealed her legal background. The panic in his eyes. They were scared. And scared people made mistakes. I just had to be strong enough to wait them out. The courtroom was smaller than I'd imagined. February 15th arrived cold and gray, Seattle rain drumming against the high windows of the King County Courthouse. I sat at the defendant's table with Claire, Patricia beside me for moral support. Across the aisle, Jennifer and Bradley sat with their attorney, a slick man in his 50s named Richard Crenshaw. Jennifer wouldn't look at me. Bradley stared straight ahead, jaw tight. Judge Andrea Martinez entered, a woman in her early 60s with steel gray hair and sharp eyes. Please be seated. We're here for the matter of Morrison versus Thornton, petition for emergency psychiatric evaluation and conservatorship. Mr. Crenshaw, you may proceed. Crenshaw stood, all false concern and polished rhetoric. Your Honor, we're here today out of deep concern for Mrs. Margaret Thornton, a 68-year-old widow who has recently exhibited alarming behavior, suggesting cognitive decline and possible elder financial exploitation of herself by herself. I felt Claire tense beside me, but she didn't interrupt. Mrs. Thornton has, without warning or explanation, closed joint accounts with her daughter, restructured her entire estate, made wild accusations against her own family, and demonstrated paranoid delusions about being exploited. Her daughter, Ms. Morrison, has attempted repeatedly to help her mother, only to be met with hostility and irrational behavior. He called Jennifer to the stand first. She took the oath, dabbing at her eyes with a tissue. Her testimony was a masterclass in manipulation. "My mother has always been so generous," Jennifer said, her voice breaking. "After my father died, I worried about her being alone. I tried to stay close, to help with her finances, to make sure she was okay. But lately, she's been different. Paranoid, accusatory. She claims I've stolen from her, but I've never taken anything. She gave freely because she loved us. Now she's turned against us, and I'm terrified she's not mentally competent to understand what she's doing." "Can you give examples of this erratic behavior?" Crenshaw prompted. "She disappeared for days without telling anyone where she was. She's made allegations that we threatened her, which never happened. She's cut us off completely, won't let us see her, won't talk to us. It's like she's a different person." Crenshaw nodded sympathetically. "And you believe this warrants a competency evaluation?" "I do. I love my mother. I just want to make sure she's protected." When Claire stood for cross-examination, the temperature in the room shifted. "Ms. Morrison, you testified that your mother gave freely. Is it true that on December 18th, 2025, she transferred $18,947 to your account?" "Yes, for family plane tickets." "And did you promise to repay her?" Jennifer hesitated. "It was a gift for the holidays." Claire pulled out a document. "I have an email here from you, dated December 17th. Would you like me to read it?" "Mom, Bradley's company thing fell through. Could you help us out? We'll pay you back in January, I promise." Jennifer's face paled. "That sounds like a loan, not a gift. Did you pay her back in January?" "We haven't had the chance yet." "I see. And the $35,000 in March 2024 for your kitchen remodel? The email says, we'll pay you back when Bradley's bonus comes. Did you?" "No, but the $22,000 in July for a urgent roof repair, the $15,000 for braces, the $8,500 for soccer equipment? According to bank records, you've received $187,450 from your mother in 18 months. How much have you repaid?" Silence. "Ms. Morrison, how much have you repaid?" "None," she whispered. "I'm sorry, could you speak up for the court?" "None." Jennifer's voice cracked. "But that doesn't mean I stole from her. She wanted to help us." Claire's expression was ice. "Did she want you to tell her not to sit with you on the plane? The plane she paid for?" Crenshaw shot to his feet. "Objection! Relevance!" "Your Honor," Claire said calmly, "this goes to motive. Ms. Morrison has portrayed herself as a concerned daughter. I'm establishing a pattern of financial exploitation and emotional abuse. I'll allow it. Answer the question, Ms. Morrison." Jennifer's eyes darted to Bradley. There was limited space in business class. It wasn't personal. You told your mother, and I quote from her testimony, "I don't want you sitting with us. It would be awkward." Is that accurate? Jennifer crumbled then, tears flowing freely. "I don't know, maybe. I was stressed." No further questions. Bradley was next. His testimony was more controlled, but Claire had ammunition. "Mr. Morrison, what is your annual income?" "Around $285,000. "And your wife doesn't work?" "She's a stay-at-home mother. So on nearly $300,000 a year, you needed Mrs. Thornton's help with property taxes? With your children's braces? With plane tickets? Seattle is expensive. Your mortgage is $3,200 a month. Your car payments total $1,100. According to the financial records we subpoenaed, you spend approximately $2,500 monthly on restaurants and entertainment. Does that sound like a family in financial distress?" Bradley's composure cracked. Our finances are our business, not when you're claiming your mother-in-law is mentally incompetent while simultaneously extracting nearly $200,000 from her. Mr. Morrison, did you threaten Mrs. Thornton with never seeing her grandchildren again unless she restored your access to her money? I was trying to make her see reason. Yes or no, Mr. Morrison? We were concerned. Your Honor, please instruct the witness to answer. Judge Martinez leaned forward. Answer the question, Mr. Morrison. Bradley's face flushed red. Yes, I said that. But she was being unreasonable. Thank you. No further questions. Claire then presented Dr. Webb's neuropsych evaluation, my physician's testimony, and the financial records showing the systematic extraction of funds. When it was over, Judge Martinez didn't even leave the bench to deliberate. I've heard enough, she said. The petition for conservatorship is denied. Mrs. Thornton is clearly of sound mind and has every right to manage her own finances. Furthermore, I'm deeply troubled by what appears to be a pattern of financial exploitation. Ms. Morrison, Mr. Morrison, you should be ashamed of yourselves. Jennifer sobbed audibly. Bradley sat stone-faced. This court is adjourned. Outside the courthouse, Jennifer tried to approach me. Mom, please. Don't, I said quietly. Just don't. We can fix this. You tried to have me declared incompetent so you could control my money. There's no fixing that, Jennifer. I walked away, Claire and Patricia flanking me. I didn't look back. 3 weeks after the court hearing, Claire called with news. Mrs. Thornton, I wanted you to know Jennifer and Bradley are facing consequences beyond just losing their petition. I set down my coffee. What kind of consequences? The court transcripts were public record. A reporter from the Seattle Times picked up the story. It ran this morning. She emailed me the article. The headline read, Local couple attempted conservatorship of mother after receiving $187,000 in loans. The article was devastating in its clinical recitation of facts. Jennifer's name, Bradley's position at his financial firm, the full accounting of transfers, the airport incident, the threats. Everything. There's more, Claire continued. Bradley's employer has opened an internal investigation, apparently attempting to defraud a family member while working in financial services raises some red flags. Will he lose his job? That's unclear, but his reputation is certainly damaged. Part of me felt a twinge of something, not quite guilt, but an echo of who I used to be. The mother who would have protected Jennifer, even from consequences she'd earned. But that woman had died in SeaTac Airport. Over the following weeks, the fallout continued. Bradley was placed on administrative leave. Their country club membership was quietly revoked. Scandal was unwelcome among the Connecticut elite. Jennifer's friends went silent. I learned this from Emma, who called my landline one evening in late March, her voice small and scared. Grandma? Mom doesn't know I'm calling. Everything's falling apart. Dad might lose his job. Mom cries all the time. They say it's all your fault. I closed my eyes. Emma, your parents made choices. Those choices had consequences. That's not my fault. But why can't you just forgive them? Isn't that what families do? Families also respect each other. Your parents didn't do that. So you're never going to see us again? Her voice broke. That question haunted me for days. In April, I hired a family law specialist to draft a proposal. Educational trusts for both grandchildren, fully funded for college, and supervised visitation rights. The proposal was delivered to Jennifer and Bradley's attorney. Their response came within 48 hours. They rejected it. They wanted full restoration of financial access or nothing, so I gave them nothing. By June, Bradley had been terminated. The reputational damage to the firm was cited. He took a position at a smaller company for half his previous salary. They put their house on the market in July. I learned they'd moved to a modest rental in a less prestigious neighborhood. Jennifer had taken a job as a receptionist, her first job in 15 years. The Mercedes was gone, replaced by a used Honda. I felt no joy in their downfall. but I felt no guilt either. In August, a letter arrived. Jennifer's handwriting on plain stationery. Mom, I know you probably won't read this, but I need to write it anyway. You were right. About everything. I used you. I took advantage of your love and generosity. I treated you like an ATM instead of my mother. And when you finally stood up for yourself, I tried to destroy you rather than face what I'd become. I don't expect forgiveness. I don't deserve it. But I want you to know that losing everything has been the best thing that ever happened to me. For the first time in years, I'm working. I'm contributing. I'm showing Emma and Lucas what it means to earn something. Emma asks about you every day. She misses you. So does Lucas. I miss you too. I'm not asking you to let us back into your life. I'm just asking you to know that I'm sorry. Truly, deeply sorry. And that I'm trying to be better. Jennifer. I read the letter 3 times. Then I put it in a drawer. Maybe someday I'd respond. Maybe someday I'd see my grandchildren again on my terms. But not today. Today I was healing, and that was enough. Autumn arrived with unexpected beauty. The maple tree in my front yard blazed brilliant red, and for the first time in years, I actually stopped to appreciate it. Patricia had returned to Portland in May, but we spoke twice a week. You sound different, she told me during one call in late September. Lighter. She was right. I hadn't realized how much weight I'd been carrying, the financial burden, the emotional weight of walking on eggshells, of being afraid to disappoint. Now, my calendar belonged to me. I joined a book club at the local library, something Jennifer had always dismissed as boring. The women there became real friends who saw me as Margaret, not as someone's mother or ATM. I started taking watercolor classes on Thursday mornings. My paintings were terrible, but I didn't care. The instructor, Harold, also widowed, made me laugh. We started having coffee after class. Nothing romantic, just companionship. But it felt revolutionary. In October, I did something I'd dreamed about for decades. I booked a trip to Italy. 3 weeks, traveling alone. Rome, Florence, the Amalfi Coast. When I posted photos on Facebook, comments poured in from old friends and former teaching colleagues. You look radiant, living your best life. I was. Meanwhile, through occasional Google searches, I tracked Jennifer's situation. Their rental was in a struggling neighborhood. Emma had been pulled from private school. Jennifer's Facebook page, once a showcase of designer outfits and luxury, had gone silent. Her last post was from June, a generic quote about new beginnings with 3 likes. Bradley's consulting business was floundering. His LinkedIn showed lost clients. A Google search of his name still brought up the Seattle Times article first. A mutual acquaintance mentioned Jennifer and Bradley were in marriage counseling. The financial stress and social ostracism had created a toxic environment. Part of me felt satisfied. They'd built their life on my money and willingness to be exploited. When that foundation crumbled, everything collapsed. But mostly, I felt free. In November, I received an unexpected visitor. Emma appeared on my doorstep, taller than I remembered, carrying a school backpack. Alone. Grandma, can I come in? I pulled her inside immediately. Emma, does your mother know you're here? I took the bus. I told her I was going to the library. She looked up at me with Robert's eyes. I'm 13 now, almost 14, old enough to make my own choices about who I see. My heart swelled. What do you want, sweetheart? I want to know you, not the grandma Mom talked about, the real you. I read the court transcripts online. I know what happened, and I know Mom was wrong. We spent 3 hours together. I showed her photos of her grandfather, told her stories about my teaching career, my travels. She told me about school, her frustrations, her hopes of being a writer. When it was time to leave, I drove her home myself. Jennifer answered the door, her face pale when she saw me. She came to me, I said before she could speak. I'm bringing her back safely. But Jennifer, Emma is old enough to choose. If she wants a relationship with me, I won't deny her that. Jennifer's eyes filled with tears. I know. Thank you for bringing her home. It wasn't reconciliation, but it was acknowledgement. As I drove away, I saw Emma waving from the window of their small rental. I waved back. My life was full now, fuller than it had been in years. Friends, hobbies, travel, purpose. And slowly, carefully, a relationship with my granddaughter that belonged to us. Jennifer and Bradley had lost everything they'd built on my generosity, and I had finally found myself. The trade seemed more than fair. So what did I learn from all this? That love without